Hey guys, I'm Davey Wavy, creator of Himeros.tv, and today I am joined by sex coach Finn Deerhart and my best friend Matthew Thomas. Hey guys!
Hey.
Hey.
Today we are going to talk about gay sex and in particular ice cream sex. So get out the whipped cream and sprinkles and let's get started. Himeros Live is sponsored by Himeros.tv, the erotic website to enhance your experience of sex and sexuality. Created by Davey Wavy, each week we upload new fully nude and explicit gay videos and then discuss them on this podcast. Membership is as little as 50 cents per day at Himeros.tv. Himeros.tv. It's like porn, but better. My dream is that one of these days when I say that, you guys like complete it with me. It's like porn, but better.
But better.
Yeah, that's my fantasy.
Yeah, especially if we stagger it just a little bit so it's all echoey.
but better, but better.
better.
So how are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Good,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Great.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
I see. Don't be feisty.
Yeah, I'm fiery today. No, I just got back from Toronto for like 5 or 6 days because I was filming for the Himeros TV YouTube channel, which if people haven't checked that out, it's youtube.com/Himeros TV, all one word. We did some really fun content. We worked with Jeremy Feist, who's the professional dom, the pro dom.
Wow.
And he's just really knowledgeable. He's like a sex nerd, which is fun. And he electrocuted me.
Wow.
How was that?
How was it?
Yeah.
Girl, it was lit.
Where did he electrocute you?
It was shocking. He did my arm, which is one of the more kind of sensitive or least sensitive places to do it. Because you can actually like electrocute someone internally, like up their butt.
Yeah.
You can go down their urethra.
Yeah.
Finn's saying, yeah.
You done that?
I actually have. Was it the static electricity, or was it kind of the voltage that ran a current through you and felt like little waves? Or
So
both?
Okay, someone's knowledgeable in the area. He did the static. Have you played with that or done both?
Yeah, I have actually. It's an intense feeling.
Yeah, the static wasn't as bad as how I understand the voltage one to be.
The static felt like a little scratchy. I did that actually on video for a company in San Francisco like 5-6 years ago. It was really intense.
What type of video?
It's marketing videos for a company that makes things like that.
When you say intense, like, do you mean pleasurably intense?
Yeah. Certain types. Yeah. Even like an electric sounding bar. Down the urethra, like Davey mentioned. That one actually did feel good to me. The other one was kind of like a nuisance.
Wait. This podcast just went in a whole different direction.
Yeah.
You put it down your urethra?
Well, I didn't, but another man did.
Was this also part of the marketing video?
No, this is just a one-off.
Oh my God, you're so interesting.
Well, it was an intense feeling. I liked it.
Yeah. It felt like the static one felt like, when you like have a plastic bag near you and you're in like your hair starts to stand. Well, I guess this doesn't happen for you.
Not for me.
If you rub your feet along a rug and you have socks on or something, that kind of like staticky, nothing. Okay. That's what it felt like.
I'll try that later.
Okay. Anyway, so this week's video is titled Ice Cream, Sex, and Bath. And Finn, this is our video. This is our video baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It was. I mean, the first half of the video was kind of my idea, my concept, and the second half was yours. Obviously, mine was the part involving gallons and gallons of ice cream. Yours was very introspective and sensual and lovely. But we should tell people, for those of you who have watched this, it actually started as 2 separate videos. So it was ice cream sex and then this really sensual bath, but we fused them together. I think it worked really well because, well, for a lot of reasons, which we'll get to, but one of which is like after you play with ice cream, you're sticky.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, it's nice.
It like relieves the viewers' discomfort that they might have if they were just like, ew, they're covered in ice cream and the video ends. Now I get to watch them in a bath. It's all like, okay.
Yeah, back to baseline. Back to baseline. So if people want to watch this video, you can go to Himeros.tv. There's a free preview. So even if you're not a member, you can still at least see what we're talking about today. And if you are a member, you can watch the whole damn thing. So good. I guess to start our conversation, let's take a step back. We filmed this in London, and this is the first video that I saw that we had worked with a new director. He's the same director that did Cummy Undies. And I told him I wanted to do something with ice cream and something kind of like very like shiny and glossy and polished. And for me, ice cream is it's one of those things that's very like sweet and very innocent. And it reminds me of my childhood growing up in New England. And I actually, if you guys go to Himeros TV, I wrote a blog post about it, about how my parents would take us out for ice cream before bedtime during the summer, pretty much like this time of year, and how we'd get sticky fingers. And I wanted to translate that into something erotic. And I guess my question to you guys is, it's something we filmed a number of times is our videos that play off of this kind of this contrast between like the sacred and the profane. It's like the perversion of innocence. Mm-hmm. Do you guys find that hot to watch or interesting to watch, or is that just me? That theme.
I do, absolutely. Yeah, I love. I would like a juxtaposition of those two things that people think are opposites, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're on a spectrum or a continuum. Yeah, I love it.
And kind of merging those together in one space.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
yeah. Go ahead, sorry, Matt.
No, please go. I was going to say what I find interesting, what I love about it is I don't think that I'm always that creative. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's an opportunity to look at sex a little bit differently. So I enjoy it like, wow, I never actually thought of that. And that is kind of cool. I would be into that. So it's like, I don't know what I don't know. And I'm learning that what I don't know, I really am actually into.
Mm. Yeah. And that was one of the things I wanted people to get the creativity out of it. Like there's lots of different options and possibilities that you can play with. For me, this is one of those though, that's like particularly innocent. And then we're kind of like perverting it in this fun way. We did another video where it was like, it was Blake Mitchell and Joey, and they went like skinny dipping in a little river, and then Joey tied Blake to a bridge. And we did another one with also Joey. He was like in the tool shed, and he's very like angelic and cute, and all of a sudden this like giant dick comes through a glory hole, and he like sucks it. I don't know. It's kind of a theme I keep coming back to, but I just wonder, like, if it's something that kind of universally people relate to, or if it's kind of just, maybe it's just something that I'm in particular just kind of interested in.
Well, I think that, porn starts out, I think for a lot of people as a way to get off in a fantasy, and that's not what this is, but still you're creating that fantasy for people, that thing that we don't think of, that like escape that we can incorporate into our own lives. And I don't know, I like that about this.
Would you want someone to like lick ice cream off of your body?
Hell no.
Why not?
It's funny because when I was watching this video the whole way through, I kept thinking, oh my God, this is sticky. The ice cream is melting and it's getting warm. It's not cold anymore. I'm about to lick this off of someone's body. And then when we got to the tub, I was like, hallelujah, just clean up, just clean up. So for me, no. Exactly. But I will say this, like, as a diabetic, every once in a while, I do incorporate a little bit of food, a little bit of sugar into sex and what I do, just so that way I don't get a low blood sugar amongst like messing around with somebody, because that ain't cute. But no, the ice cream is just too sticky. It was just too much. And plus it's like everywhere. Like, no.
Yeah, it is.
What happens if you get low blood
concentrated
sugar?
space.
What happens if you get low blood sugar and sex?
I mean, no, I won't pass out, but my mouth will start to shake, my hands will start to shake. Like, you may think I may be having an orgasm and really no, like, oh, I'm about to pass the fuck out. But it's like a loss of energy, really what it is. Like, you can't do much and you're confused. But
Finn,
go on.
Are you on board with the ice cream, Finn? Is it
Totally.
problematic? Oh, you're on board. Okay.
I mean, it's sticky in there. I guess there's a moment of like, oh God, that's sticky. But I think a lot of that, it's like confronting personal comfort, and you let go, and it's like, holy shit, this is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the coldness, this is what I'm imagining, like the coldness of the ice cream on my nipples, like, and also that it's very like decadent. I've never played with ice cream, and I love ice cream during sex, but I added it to my bucket list. I have a sex bucket list as of 2 hours ago, which I've started. Do you guys have a sex bucket list?
Not one that's like that formed, but in my mind, things that recur as fantasy that I am like, that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, same here.
I think there's power in putting those words on paper, because then you can like really work through it. I shared this with a guy that I've been spending a lot of time with, and so he's writing one too, and we're going to kind of work through on the top of my list, ice cream and sex, followed by peeing inside someone, toe fucking someone, having sex,
clip them toenails,
having sex. I'm actually getting a pedicure tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, have you been peed inside?
I've never peed inside someone.
Have you received pee inside?
No.
When you say pee inside, you mean when you're like literally like they like bend over, open their hole, and then you pee in it? Or you mean like while you're actually having sex and then you're peeing like inside of them?
Yeah.
You know, Matt, I'm open to the circumstances being whatever they might be, but
how did you imagine it, you know, from when you were pen to paper?
I imagined being in the shower and being hard and being like, okay, bend over, and kind of sliding it in and peeing in him.
Okay.
Having sex under the stars, just a sweet one. And then, because of Finn's second half of this video, to bathe a lover. I've never bathed a lover.
Oh, that's a real sweet one.
So I just opened up to y'all and got very vulnerable.
Have you been bathed, like the object of that kind of attention?
No. And I think that would be on my, I'll add that to the list too. Thanks, Finn.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. So anyway, with the video though, getting back to ice cream sex, I imagined this video being shot with like lots of slow motion and glamour shots, like ice cream dripping off bodies and dicks and licking and sucking. And that's what we got. But I will say that for me, this video more so than anything else that we've posted on the site feels a bit porny to me. And it feels, I guess the word would be like performative. Like when you watch the models have sex, it feels like they're performing for the audience. And it's something I talked about with the director, and I think it's one of those things. It was his first time working with us, and his background is in filming traditional porn. So I think that's just kind of what he defaulted to. But we're working with him again, and I think the future projects are going to feel, I guess, a bit more authentic. I don't know. Do you guys have any like honest thoughts about the video? And I mean, if you have criticisms, like how did you feel about it, the sex?
I thought that they looked like they were having a good time, and I don't have criticism. I did appreciate. I think I can understand what you're saying about the performative aspect, but I thought, you know, the eye contact between them looked authentic. There's a few eye gazes where I thought they were just there having a good time with each other. Yeah.
How'd you feel, Matt?
Well, it's funny, like you saying that, me thinking back, like it opens up with them sitting on two stools, kind of just throwing ice cream at each other. I'm like, okay, well, that scenario, it's like, well, that's not particularly normal two lovers. They're like in like a kitchen or anything. So to that end, yes, I guess I could maybe see like the porn thing, but as you go through it, they seem connected. It's like they know each other. They're definitely into each other. And the way that it's actually shot doesn't look like your typical porn. So I didn't think that. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't really thought that about any of these videos.
Yeah. I guess also for me, like maybe it had something to do with like the lighting. Like it was very brightly lit. We do most of the shoots we do, it looks like natural light. Oftentimes we have a big camera set up outside the window, like creating a fake sun coming in. But when you watch porn, it's usually very like blown out, super bright. And this felt a little overly lit, I guess.
Really? But there wasn't even a lot of sex. And I will say one thing I really liked is that, and I don't know why, but like just showing him putting on the condom, just the angle and what you did, like I actually appreciated that. And I was like, okay. And the sex wasn't the focal point of the video.
That was a conscious decision that the director talked about. He's like, okay, if we're going to film, a lot of our videos don't have anal sex. This was one of them that did. And this director was like, look, like if we're going to have a condom in it, then I want to not just do that hard cut from, from like they're making out. And then all of a sudden, like the penis has a condom and there's no explanation of why that happened and they're fucking. He wanted to really sexualize the condom and make it part of the process. Which I thought was cool. I thought that was a cool insight.
Totally.
So I got a lot of feedback for this video. Some of it good, some of it bad. People picked up on the condom thing. A lot of people wrote in about that. They also enjoyed that there was not a voiceover.
I was waiting for the voiceover. I was like, come on.
I mean, ultimately, right, it's more powerful if you can depict what you're trying to say rather than say it. But, I get it. But a lot of the feedback revolved around, and I'm so guilty of this. So the video that we posted a few weeks ago was like how to open up a bottom. And this video went from like making out and dick sucking, and he just stuck it right in, just like they do in any other porn. With none of the foreplay or none of the techniques that we had discussed, which I get. But
well, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily a fair criticism though, because
let him have it, Matt.
No, because I think that there are times I know where I've had sex where I haven't gone through that process, but sometimes you're with people that want you to just stick it in. They don't want to go through that process of always being opened up. Some people like that. And at the same time too, like the messaging of the video had nothing to do with the sex that they were having. So, I mean, I get the criticism, but I think that you're also missing the point of what it was supposed to be about.
Yeah, it's like focusing on an aspect that isn't to be highlighted necessarily.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. And also, I mean, I guess like if you really think about it, every time we show anal sex, are we really going to show like a 20-minute like
right? Exactly. Like it takes time. That's not a 5-minute process.
And sometimes I do want it to just be like faster. I mean, yeah, it's different. It kind of depends. And they were having a lot of fun, and that's what I was focusing on. I didn't even notice that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, so
I was like, yeah, shove it in.
So anyway, so that was ice cream sex, and I thought when I saw the video, I liked it. I thought it was cool, but I felt like it needed something else to elevate it. And I think that the bath does that. Like it adds more of a, like more of a tantric layer, complicated layer. So it just makes it more interesting for me. So that's when we made the decision to do the second half of the video as the bath. So Finn, that was your idea. What inspired you to think of a bathing scene?
Well, actually just personal experience, loving that. Just there's a personal element. I really like being cared for in that way. And I love giving a bath too to my lover. I don't you know, it's like an ideological level. I think it's really beautiful too, because it's like a thing that's been happening for centuries with men in a ceremonial kind of way. So it introduces a ceremony type idea to the sex that we're having, bringing sacredness to it, and that it's special and that it's not something, you know, that we should be ashamed of.
You said that you enjoy bathing your lover, getting bathed by your lover. What do you enjoy about that?
It's just, well, it feels so good. Like to receive, it feels amazing. To be touched and have the water pour, just having that focus on me, and then and giving too. It's just like I really love touch. It's one of the best ways to show me care and to give that also to my partner. I like to just like salt scrub him. Actually, we go to baths actually usually once a week or every couple of weeks, like a public bath that there's here in San Francisco, and we do like salt scrubbing and bathing, and it feels so good. It feels good. I mean, I feel like you're like salt scrubbing each other and like rubbing each other's feet and then rubbing each other with lotion. It just feels really good, and it's a special way to take time and just show care.
Yeah, it's intimate. It's very intimate.
Yeah, and to receive, it's intimate, and sometimes it can be a little challenging. Like, oh my God, I'm getting all this attention, like because I deserve it. It's okay, and let it in.
Have you ever done that, Matt? Have you ever like bathed with a lover or vice versa?
It's funny because I've only really started doing that now. I've actually been seeing someone fairly recently where I want to say every night that we've been together, the next morning or even that night, we end up taking a shower or a bath. And it's something that he's really into. And I've come to love it. And it's a connection in another way that I haven't experienced before. And I love it. I think to myself, why didn't I do more of this? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
The shower thing I've done that's like, but a bath, like that seems to me, that's even more kind of like sensual. You're like sitting in the same water. Like there's a very like kind of deep intimacy. So you've done that.
I have.
Look at you. I haven't done a bath, but I did do, well, not that this is like that unique, but when I was, I had an Airbnb in Austin, Texas, and it had a hot tub in the backyard, like a really nice hot tub. And one of the hottest sexual experiences I had was in that hot tub. And I think like for me, as someone that's not particularly into like smells and is fairly intense about like hygiene and germs, to me, it's like the ideal situation because like, there are no odors, there are no messes, or like, because the water just keeps cleaning it off. Everything is fresh and chlorinated and disinfected.
Smells like bleach.
Yeah, just like plastic. I love it.
Oh my
God. So Finn, I guess what did you want people to take away from the bath scene?
The idea of care and like multiple points of connection, which I really loved that it was paired with the ice cream because of that. It's like, here's this fun, playful, frivolous type of thing that's happening. It's dirty, it's sticky, it's impulsive, maybe whatever. And then the bath, it shows like slowing down and taking time and really dropping in with each other. I think allow some space for some emotions to emerge. And I think it's a really sexy date night kind of idea if you're getting to know a guy too. And you're feeling like you want to take it to another level. It's a great way to connect.
Yeah, it has kind of that undulation that we've talked about of like this kind of riding the sexual energy wave of the intensity and then kind of the chill, and then it can pick up again and go on forever and ever.
And it's super sexy too. Like, I mean, having like the way in this video, for instance, having his ass turned around and his partner pouring water over it, and he's just presenting his ass for several minutes on the video, and that's sexy. It's like a vulnerable being seen in a certain kind of way, and I think that's hot.
I love the shot where the water's being poured over his head.
Yeah.
Do you know, Matt? Do you know what I'm talking about? You're nodding your head.
I thought, wait, over his head or over his ass?
Oh, see, that's where you went.
They're both cool shots. No,
the head.
No. The ass.
So, all right. Well, I think it is time to answer some questions from folks at home, or if anyone's watching and you have any questions, feel free to ask those in the chat room. We have an interesting lineup of questions tonight. So our first question is, I should write the names of the people that asked this, but anyway, the first question is, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to douche and I can't afford ones. Any tips for being clean on a budget?
Gentlemen.
I mean, I have a ratchet tip.
What?
I used to do this in college.
Oh my God, what?
I know, I love that you said ratchet too.
I used to take I'm like turning red. I used to take a Poland Springs bottle.
Stop.
Yeah.
And I would fill it with water, especially if it was one of the ones with a nipple on it. You know, the nipple kind of pops off after a couple uses, but it still has that like kind of spigot thing. And I would fill it with water and I'd bend over and I would squirt the Poland Springs up my ass. And well, it wasn't Poland Springs because I'm not going to use, spring water for it. I just use tap water. But I would fill it up my ass and then I would let it all out in the in the toilet, and I would just use it like it was a douche.
Yeah, like an old ketchup bottle. They have a glidey little tip. I mean, but you can buy those disposable douches at CVS or something pretty cheap. I think they're really inexpensive.
Yeah, you're talking about like the Fleet, like enema things.
Yeah,
but those
just reuse it.
Yeah, that's pretty ratchet too.
I mean, or just any kind of bottle. I've used bottles that didn't have a little tip when I was younger too. I just in that same sort of boat, like, oh, what do I do? And used like a water bottle with some kind of like Aquafina or something. It wasn't comfortable, but it did do the job at the time.
Yeah, Matt's face is just like,
you guys got these MacGyver skills. Like I would have never thought of that.
Ever?
Huh?
I'll tell you, there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
That is pretty clever though.
Yeah. I wanted it. So, and also like there's things you can do without, you can also get fairly clean without douching if you use your finger and you're willing to get up in there. But I recommend.
I wasn't going to say that, but I love that you did. I actually know a guy that told me that. He's like, "Oh, I just always use my finger," and I was like, "Okay." But that was his preferred method.
So
that's free.
Yeah, that is free. So, well, there you go. Question number 2 is, last week you guys talked about virgins, but you really didn't have any advice for first timers. What advice do you have?
I thought we had hella advice.
Did we have hella advice?
I think that if it is your first time, get really clear on your boundaries and what you want ahead of time. So when you're in that situation, you can communicate about it and not feel just at the whim of what's going on. Just be really clear about what you want and do it with someone that you trust. They can hold you in multiple levels, not just physically, but can like be available for you too. If it's, your first time, there's some things to consider.
Yeah, that's good advice. Do you have any, Matt? I've got nothing.
I would honestly, you're probably going to like it, making sure that you're picking someone that you have a connection with, so that way you can do it again. Like, I mean, it sounds, I don't know. I think that's important, to have a connection with who you are doing it with, someone that you trust. So that way, if something's happening that makes you uncomfortable, you can tell them how you feel, or more easily tell them how you feel.
Yeah. I was going to say something about making sure you're ready for it, but I don't know that.
You don't always know.
Yeah, and I don't. It's like having a kid. Are you ever ready for a kid? Are you ever ready to? I think it's always going to be kind of pushing some boundary. So
just don't do it to do it. Make sure that it's really what you want to do with whoever you're doing it with. Honor your own body.
And because all the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get really clear and intentional about it.
Yeah,
not in a reactive type, like what you were saying. Just this is what I want, and I'm gonna make sure that that's what I go looking for, and
because you can't take it back.
Question number 3: I'm going to read this one word for word, ladies and gentlemen. I want to address this to Davey specifically.
Uh-oh.
When you started your journey and shared your life with us, you mentioned that you thought body hair was gross. It's quite strange given how you defend drag queens and older gays, but you never have gone back to address the body hair comment. I want to believe you've turned over a new leaf with Himeros.tv, but you need to address this because you have all types of fans. Those of us with body hair have to encounter hateful comments towards us about it, and hearing people say it's disgusting is revolting. Please consider making a video that addresses your body positive message for everyone, not just select groups. Now, I want to say, I don't ever remember saying that. And I went back and I looked because I was like, when did I say this? And I have 1,000 videos and only a handful of them are in body hair. And in none of those videos could I find a clip of me saying it was disgusting. I can't imagine myself saying that because I don't believe that. And I don't think I've ever believed that. I can't imagine myself saying that like something I'm not particularly into is like eating an ass that's hairy because of my predisposition for kind of hygiene and a fear that there's going to be like dingleberries and whatever. But I also recognize that there's guys that specifically seek out hairy asses, that there's people who really who like a furry ass and a furry guy and a furry chest.
And it was soap too, you know, like, I mean, a hairy ass doesn't mean necessarily dingleberries too.
Of course, yeah, but there's also like the texture of like licking hair too. Like,
well, yeah, there's videos on here with hairy men on them. Multiple videos with hairy guys.
Yeah, there are, and I mean, even today on the blog post, I did an interview with Adam Ramsey, who has a hairy chest, and one of the things that I think is really sexy about him is that his chest is hairy. So I'm not quite sure where the viewer got the impression that I think that body hair is disgusting, but. I mean, I even did a video with like the gay bears of Montreal, and I did a body hair shaving tutorial where we talked about body hair. And one of the things, the guy that was in it has a really hairy chest. And what we're saying is that like, if you're smooth, there's guys that are going to be into it. If you're hairy, there's guys that are going to be into it. So if you do shave your body hair or trim it, do it because that's what you want for yourself. Don't do it for other people.
Totally.
So
yeah, whatever makes you feel. I happen to really like body hair on some guys, and I have body hair, and I've been praised for that and rejected for that. So on both sides. Yeah.
Fake news. It's fake news, guys. What do you think, Matt?
I was thinking, show me the receipts. Like, where did you say this? Like, where is it? But I mean, honestly, we all have our preferences. I know that I was with someone that for a couple of years, and I always thought that I preferred or only liked a smooth ass. And, you know, time goes on, you're with someone, and they don't always have time whenever you want to do it. And, you know, you have more of that natural look. And I came to realize it really didn't matter. Like, I was still into him. I was still into the person. Yeah. Did it feel a little bit different when my mouth was against it? Sure. But did I like it any less? Hell no. So it's like, I think that I realized that, okay, well, because I think I was one of those people that really didn't think that I enjoyed hair, was like, oh, I'm not really into that. And come to find out, like, I actually am. Like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. But we all have our preferences. I do think, though, that it's important that we don't body shame each other or talk about each other in a negative way when we are describing those things that we're into and not into.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to talk about those kind of preferences and absolute terms that like
absolutely,
because there's just as many guys that are into a furry butt as aren't. So
you don't have to talk about what you don't like to talk about what you love.
Exactly.
Talk about what you love.
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that, because Dave, when we would talk about like having Grindr and making a profile, you made a great point of saying, you know, it's all about putting on there what you like and what you are into versus talking about all of the negative things that you don't like. It's being positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that language of what you do want is not language of exclusion. So when people read it, they can see what you're into and not have to feel this kind of personal, visceral reaction to it.
Exactly.
So, guys, next week we're going to be talking about butt plugs. Your lives will change. Your lives will change. It's I think, Matt, you haven't seen next week's video yet. I think in particular, you're going to find a lot of enjoyment in this one.
Monday, right?
Comes out Monday.
Monday, right?
Can I maybe get an early cut?
Did you see the preview banner of it?
No. Well, I mean, I think I do remember seeing a butt, but I mean, I go to your site and I see butts all the time, so I don't think I thought twice.
Yeah, he's got his hand on it though.
This is a very special butt.
Whose butt?
His name is Bo Reed. It's very juicy.
I look forward to Monday.
So in the meantime, make sure you join us on Himeros.tv. It's HIMEROS.tv. Thank you to Matt and to Finn. Finn, where can people find you?
FinnDeerhart.com. FINNDEERHART.com.
Awesome. And you love hearing from our viewers.
Yes. And I've been hearing from people a little bit that are sharing stuff. I'm loving it. So thank you. Please keep reaching out.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And as always, more to come.